bringing you the real insights from science tech startups. Learn from experienced founders and experts how to build a successful startup. You are listening to the Working with Startups from Science podcast with your host, Bartosz Kaidas.
Hello and welcome everybody. Yeah, I'm here live on Friday, and we are streaming here from Gernsheim, from the RYON GreenTech Accelerator in this special episode here. I'm a little bit excited, as you can hear, because I have a very cool topic with me and a special guest sitting right in front of me. I will introduce him in a couple of seconds. And yeah, you can be part of this show. You can comment and you can ask your questions later in this podcast stream. You can just use the comment function anywhere where you are looking at, on LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube. So feel free to use the comment section and ask your questions during the whole interview, and I will pick up your questions, and then I will ask my interview guest your question, and you can participate in this show. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really happy to be here at RYON. And my guest is Professor Dr. Jörg von Hagen, and he will introduce himself, and I'm happy to be here. And welcome on stage, Jörg.
Yes, thank you very much, Bartosz. It's really also for us a pleasure having you first time really out and doing this live podcast. So it's a pleasure that you have selected RYON as one of the interesting topics for doing so. Yeah, my name is Jörg von Hagen, and I'm a technical managing director of RYON. What is RYON? RYON is a newly founded business of the Hessian State Trade and Invest, the infrastructure bank of Hessia, the universities Darmstadt and Frankfurt, and the corporate Merck. And what is our objective? Our objective is to support in green tech startups. We come to that in a second. My background is, as mentioned, technical director. I'm biotechnologist by training, and I'm looking forward to this excellent opportunity and the great hour in front of us.
Oh, yeah, this was a great elevator pitch. Perfect. So I see and hear you are working with a couple of startups together and you're part of this ecosystem. Yeah, great. So this gave us, I guess, a very, very good impression of what are you doing and what is your position. So when we are talking about RYON and why this green tech topic is maybe so important right now in our times, maybe you can your story behind the RYON GreenTech Accelerator mission.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all know, let's say, how important it is to really get the needle moved in all aspects of climate crisis. A lot of efforts are going on there. A lot of people try to contribute. And let's say you can save energy, you can build a lot of IT solutions to solve that problem. But to be honest, I mean, to really make the needle change, you need to have new materials, really new materials, new processes, also thinking out of the box, what is really substituting the causes of, for instance, CO2 emissions. So, I mean, this is really something where you need to have smart brains. A lot of investment needs to be done there in regards to science and technology development. And I'm really happy to support with RYON in our ecosystem in the Rhine-Main-Neckar area, startups which really would like to do some changes here in developing great solutions for climate, for our planet. So that's basically the ambition of RYON.
I mean, you mentioned really big topics. So I guess this is like our society participating of that results. If it comes out very, very cool ideas out of it. And I mean, there are different accelerators out in the world. And my question is like, why now and why RYON?
Yeah. Good question, Bartosz. And I think this is also important to mention that we are not playing alone here in the area. So this needs to be done in concert. And what is our unique selling proposition? This is technically supporting startups. What does that mean? When you would like to develop something in the area of chemistry, biotechnology, or material sciences, it requires a lot of infrastructure. You need to have laboratories, you need to have pilot plants, you need to have very expensive equipment from time to time. And we are talking not about equipment like a computer, which costs you thousands of euros, but think about mass spectrometries, NMRs, so really equipment which easily can cost up to 500,000. And who can pay for this when you have to develop something upfront as a startup? We would like to support here also with technical expertise, with giving access to technology. And another point, which is very important to me, is at universities, you learn to solve problems, you have great ideas, but when it comes to commercialization, when you go along the technology readiness level development, it would also require that you start thinking about the at-scale process. Means when you produce later on, you need to have bigger vessels, you need to have an operational supply chain, you need to have products which are safe. There is a lot of technical and regulatory aspects which you don't know exactly from the very beginning on when you're a startup from university. And here we have a great ecosystem which can support from corporates, from universities, but also, let's say, from all other players in our ecosystem. And here we are happy that we are having our USP in this technical setup.
Yeah, so you're providing infrastructure for startups and ideas, and which state, or how can I imagine that? Like maybe I have a crazy idea. Can I come up to you, or is it like some special offer for researchers? How can I in which context?
When you feel you need to have technical support, I mean, this is the address to go, RYON, right? So we take care that we find some solutions for you. Either it could be, let's say, lab space, which we actually have here. We are located in Gernsheim on the campus of the corporate Merck. And we are having here existing infrastructure already, which we have started to make available to startups. But we have recently opened some new laboratories for startups in biochemistry, chemistry, biotechnology, material sciences, which can be used from now on. And we are planning even bigger for the future, so that we have several thousand square meters of laboratory and pilot plant infrastructure here on site. So if you have a crazy idea, you don't know where your home is, if you cannot conduct, let's say, your research or your development any longer at the university, or you having an own idea not coming from a university and would require technical support, let us know. We are more than happy to help.
Well, so maybe for people or listeners who don't know exactly like the range, I mean, if you are in this kind of technical development that you spoke, you can't do this in your own garage, right? So you need some infrastructure or labs and some safety requirements that you can that you can have. Is everything possible in your labs or in your infrastructure?
Of course, not everything. I mean, we have a focus on green technology, but green technology, let's say, comprises not necessarily immediately all technologies which are 100% CO2 neutral, for instance. They could also focus on an idea which is substituting fossil-based processes and makes the world stepwise, let's say, more a place to live on. And I think when you have this kind of idea which help us really, let's say, develop something which helps the planet, we would like to support you. We have all the regulatory aspects for chemistry and for biotechnology here on site. So you can imagine in Germany, you have a lot of regulations, but our site fulfills all this criteria. Yeah, so we have all the legislations that we can do this. And this is very important because typically this would require sometimes several years of registration and getting the allowance or permit to do so. And here you can jumpstart. And I think this is a big advantage which comes along with the Gernsheim site here on the River Rhine.
Yeah, so we are here based in Hessen, so parts in the south of Hessen, and yeah, I have here something prepared, a nice drone flight, and we can see the infrastructure. But of course, if you are listening this as a podcast, you may change later to the YouTube stream. You can see that, but I will place, or I will put that here in our small video about the drone. And here we go. So Jörg, maybe you can tell us something.
Yeah, what you see here is we call it transition center. This is, let's say, temporary laboratory infrastructure, temporary in a way because we are thinking even bigger. But what you find in here are 6 dedicated laboratories equipped with basic equipment. You have a few more, you have, let's say, benches, you have some storage for solvents, inorganic solvents, for acids, and yeah, I mean, this is really a good starting point, we think, offered to startups. And if you're interested in, please let us know. So we are more than happy also to show you our capabilities and also our vision how we can grow with you together in case you see this as a kind of starting point. I mean, such a small laboratory with 16 square meters is just the beginning. But we also give you space to grow in case it's needed. So let us know when you have any kind of request regarding this.
Yeah, this is really cool, and I guess this is like part of the concept that you mentioned to grow with your startup. So if this is like a modular based system that you have and can grow with your startup, so this is quite cool. The transition center that we saw a couple of seconds ago was recently opened, and yeah, do you have already some success stories or examples of startups that are inside of this infrastructure?
Yeah, so I mean, you can imagine we started, let's say, onboarding processes here and showing this to customers, and they are always very positive, saying, come on, we have not expected that you have this kind of flexible and modular system up and running here. So this is something we see that there is demand there, but we need also to make sure that we really have here the, let's say, right startups which can have advantage of the site here. So we really would like to have this kind of chemistry and biotechnology and material science research, but we have really good discussions, and I'm more than let's say confident that we will fill this kind of laboratories in the near future quite fast, and there will be more demand. But like always, you have to grow a plant, you have to seed, and let's say, and then bring the water, and afterwards you see then the big trees. And the same holds true also for RYON. I mean, we are also a startup on our own. We were funded, let's say, 1.5 years back, and here also we need to get more deep into the business. And I'm confident that this will come through, let's say, on the time fly.
Very cool. And are there startups already inside this infrastructure?
Yeah. We have startups on campus, and hopefully soon also, let's say, in the infrastructure. So discussions going on for the beginning of May to have the next startup coming to Gernsheim. And I cannot share the name yet with you, but it's cool technology. It's about movable infrastructure which converts ammonia into hydrogen. This will be the next startup we are onboarding here, and we are very proud that they have selected us, let's say, for being their preferred technical partner, because when it comes to chemistry, what they told us was the big advantage we can deliver is the on-site expertise when it comes to environmental health and safety, justifications of what they are doing, gives them guidance, how they can transfer this into real life. This sounds a little bit, let's say, easy, but when you have an idea and want to have it at a certain scale, there's a lot of aspects which are required that you really can do safe development. And I'm really happy having them on the 1st of May. That's the plan here on the campus. campus. That's the next story here.
So I'm hearing out that you are not offering just the infrastructure, so just you're offering more services to that. So can you like name that once again, like in some bullet points?
Yes.
What you're offering?
I mean, this technical infrastructure, the laboratory and pilot plant is one thing, but imagine you are a young startup and you haven't heard of all the regulatory aspects which come along with, let's say, scaling up a technology. And you can imagine that in our area, in the Rhine-Main area, we have nearly experts for most of the things which you would require when it comes to chemistry or biotech. What does it mean? I mean, when it comes to environmental aspects, how do you transport chemicals on water, on the road? How do you store chemicals? What are, let's say, limitations regarding handling certain chemicals? This is not trivial, and it really requires a background of a lot of experts, and we can support them with, let's say, our onboarding process, giving them guidance. The second thing is the technical aspect. We have developed a good of agile coaching program where along certain topics we can discuss with startups what is really from our experience, from our industry experience, and I'm 35 years with a corporate Merck, so I have quite seen a lot of, let's say, relevant things when it comes to scale up. What do we think is important where they should think of quite early? Yeah, and then we offer them to bring them in touch with real experts to discuss their dedicated need. And I think this is something which is unique in the area, at least. And I think also in Germany we don't have so much centers which are doing the same thing. Yeah, so this is basically how we see this kind of technology coaching to startups.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess I want to dive a little bit deeper into that because this is quite interesting. You're not alone. We are sitting here in FLUXUM in the park, and this is part of Merck, the Merck company. And maybe you can pick us up on your personal story. Like you mentioned Merck already.
Yes.
So you started basically a management career or a scientist career, or what?
I started as technician in 1989. So I started technician in biotech in biology at Merck, and then let's say I decided, okay, move a little bit forward. After that, and then I studied biotechnology at the University of Applied Sciences in Gießen. And then I did in Merck Oncology together with the University of Darmstadt my PhD. And this was a little bit uncommon that days because, let's say, coming from an applied university to do the PhD was not common at that time. So this was in late 90s. And then afterwards, I went Merck to the United States to do some research on proteome research, tool developments in Madison, Wisconsin, and San Diego. And then afterwards, I came back and worked also after the acquisition of the RYON in Switzerland, also in autoimmune inflammatory disease research. Yeah, and then we started another, I would call it, internal startup within Merck. We decided to do the production of dry powder cell culture media for the production of GMP therapeutics, biotherapeutics. And I was basically in charge for the entire R&D, which was located in Darmstadt, and after the acquisition of a company in China, in Beijing, and also after, let's say, building up capabilities in Woburn, close to Boston. And with that, I have experienced a lot of expertise in what is required when you scale up. And I mean, here you could argue you are an R&D. What has an R&D guy to do with scale up? And I think that the startups feel a little bit in the same role. But you should really listen carefully to the people around you. Otherwise, you cannot be successful in, let's say, producing larger quantities. And this is also something where I got a good feeling and flavor. And and then afterwards, I was in charge for another business in cosmetics. We were the first 3D skin model users for the development of active ingredients in cosmetics. And this journey goes always a little bit forward and ended now for the time being with me here at RYON, because I think with my also academic background at the universities in Gießen, where I'm actually teaching, and in Salzburg in Austria, I have also a good sense of how academia is working, and bringing all together the expertise in industry and academia. I think was a good fit for me, let's say, to apply for this position here and helping now younger talents and teams, let's say, to hopefully, let's say, circumvent a lot of mistakes and helping them to accelerate their development.
Yeah, wow, amazing career. So this is quite very, very interesting and amazing what you did and achieved already. So it sounds very cool. And now bringing or giving all the information and the knowledge to young entrepreneurs, I guess this is a very cool fit. So yeah, looking forward how this will develop on that. And what was like the foundation of RYON? So I mean, you are not alone. There are like a collaboration. Maybe you can like give the audience a little bit more context about that. Who founded RYON and who's part of that as a shareholder?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that RYON is an element which was missing in our ecosystem was because on one side you have, let's say, universities which are very successful in our area. I mean, with our stakeholders, the universities of Darmstadt and Frankfurt. We have two which are in our board. But on the other side, you need to have also then this link to the industry. And this link to the industry is, I think, well done with connecting to the corporate Merck. But in the middle, there was something missing. How do you really bring this idea in a certain stage, scale it up before you really can produce at scale? And when you think about the technology readiness level developments and levels, according to NASA, you can say the early steps can be conducted at university and the later steps can be done here at the FLUXUM Gernsheim, which offer you a lot of space to grow. But there is this so-called valley of death, where, let's say, people need to leave the university, build their businesses and scale up, and this requires a lot of technical investment and money. And this is why a lot of these, let's say, deep tech startups in Germany do not get the right funding and support, and then they are dying. This is why this is called the Valley of Death, not only in Hesse or in Germany, but this is all over. It's the same. And here it was clear we need to unify in our ecosystem the different capabilities we have. And this is that the, let's say, state of Hesse has decided, okay, we want to have this in Hesse, at the Rhine-Main-Neckar area, because we are very strong in chemistry. And let's say, this chemistry now is also seen as one of the key drivers for the green transformation. So therefore, why not investing here? And this was, let's say, from the state perspective. The universities, they were seeing the necessity that, let's say, capabilities needs to be implemented, which gives them beyond the university the chance to grow with this more deep tech infrastructure. And the corporate Merck has, let's say, here, the place and also the expertise to support this kind of idea. And this is why this came all together, and this was one of the reasons why RYON was funded.
Oh, great! It sounds like a triangle of success, right?
Absolutely, and I'm not sure if everyone knows about RYON. Why this is, let's say, the name of this activity, because it comprises where we are located, the Rhine, the Alemannic word for the river Rhine. And you see beyond Bartosz also this green O and the N. And this is, let's say, basically the switch of the green transformation. So here you can switch on the green transformation. This is where RYON comes from.
Perfect. Now our listeners, or you revealed the secret of the name. Great. No, I think this is quite an impressive success, right? Bringing a political sphere and a research sphere and the company sphere or the corporate sphere together to a table. So yeah, great achievement. So I have to say, this is really amazing, right?
Yeah, and I think this is somehow also unique. I don't think that so many call it accelerators are out there. Accelerator is maybe a little bit something different per definition, but we can accelerate really the technical development here on the site. Because what also is required is a minimum valuable viable product in the beginning, so that you have some idea what to scale at least. And when you have this idea, then I think we are the right place to help you to grow this and to accelerate your business. Yeah.
So with that strong partnerships that you have here, what are the long-term goals for RYON?
I mean, for RYON, our objective is really to the settlement of high qualified jobs in our Rhine-Main-Neckar area. I mean, we see ourselves, let's say, as supporting element for the region. And what is very important to me is this is not restricted to the 5 stakeholders I've mentioned before, because I mean, for the region, it goes cross-border. We have Rhineland-Palatinate, we have Baden-Württemberg. So we have everything around, and we cannot separately see this as a Hessian activity, because our first settlements came from the University in Mainz, and this shows you also that it's important to have a closer look on where is the best spot for me to go. In Mainz, actually, they're doing fantastic jobs in, let's say, promoting, let's say, what they call to become the pharmacy of the world. But let's say there is not so much of solutions for the chemists and the biotechnologists which do green biotech, not the red biotech, what is typically the pharma biotech. And that's why Sigi Waldko with Lab was one of the first startups who, let's say, figured out the benefit for him, let's say, coming to Gernsheim compared to what is offered in Mainz. And we don't need to think about, let's say, who can do what, let's say, in what state. We should think more about who can support what better in a certain way. And this is important to me. And also, when we are talking about the structure, you see that, let's say, the universities, Darmstadt and Frankfurt, having the university alliance also with Mainz. We are very close together now and starting getting deeper into the university areas in Mainz as well, have support there. We have exchange with the BioMinds colleagues over there. We are doing this now also to Mannheim, and plan is also to go to Karlsruhe a little bit more. We have a settlement coming there from Stuttgart. You see, we try to support everything who can best utilize what we offer here. That's important to us.
Yeah, great. So I hear that there is actually no border for this topic.
Exactly.
And yeah, if I want to, or if I have a concrete idea as a startup or entrepreneur, how do I get involved with you? So how are the steps? How can I get in touch and ask for facilitation infrastructure?
I mean, the easiest thing is go on our webpage, RYON.de. So here you find, let's say, the contact information, but of course you can also find me at LinkedIn. I mean, you see my name. So this is something where you can also drop me notes. I think there are different ways how you can approach us. I think you will find me, let's say, in the internet, and we are more than happy to share also contact information at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I know that some scientists may have this question in their head, like, oh, maybe I'm not ready right now. Maybe I need a little bit more improvement. I need this, I need that. So this is a little bit unsecure. Can I ask you at any stage anything, or how is this like? Is there any like restrictions?
No, there are no restrictions. And let's say if we are not the right partner at a certain stage in development, I mean, we can contact you or bring you in touch with other people. For instance, when you're actually at the university and you have the basic idea, the typical way is to go to the transfer unit of your university. So we have, for instance, in Darmstadt, it's called Highest. the colleagues at Highest, they are more than happy, let's say, to onboard you with your questions and support you. They give you pitch trainings, they give you, let's say, ideas where to get funding and all this kind of aspect. So very important, let's say, that we are not duplicating here. Let's say here you find the first starting context, I think, in Darmstadt. In Frankfurt, it's called Innovectis. Same. So you have, let's say, Univato and Innovectis, which give you the similar support. On the campus directly, you have the Gründerzentrum in Mainz, which they're actually building up a little bit more, but similar structure also is thought there. And I think this should be the first contact point. And I'm sure when you're coming from another university, you might have similar ones. If you don't have, we have what we call, let's say, a company provider close by. It's the Tech Quartier in Frankfurt. And the Tech Quartier, they have similar holding structure like we have. The only difference is the state is in there with the Hessen Trade and Investment, the VE Bank, and the universities Darmstadt and Frankfurt. But instead of, let's say, having the corporate Merck in, they have, let's say, Frankfurt, the town Frankfurt, that they as their managing stakeholders. And you see, this is a very similar structure. And what I then would do in case you're coming not from universities or don't have, let's say, the capabilities of approaching someone there, bringing in touch with them, or some other, let's say, requirements you might have, we find the right solution in the ecosystem. So let us know. We are more than happy to help you.
Oh, perfect. That's a cool offering, and great to hear that there's such a great supporting structure already around this accelerator. When we're coming back and looking into the future and green tech technologies, I don't have the feeling that green tech was or is that fancy, right? So we hear science, we hear quantum computing, or I don't know, some other stuff. Why do you think is it hard for these kind of innovations and startups to grow really fast into this market? Also in terms of VCs, right? So they're looking software based. If you're setting up a green tech. Why do you think is that so hard?
I mean, sometimes, and in the minds of investors, probably, let's say, it depends on how big the carrot is. And when we are thinking about pharma, for instance, you have big carrots in front of you, right? So you can earn millions and billions of euros, but the risk is quite high. But still, people like investing in pharma because they think, okay, I can get really a big chunk of, let's say, the money at the end of the day. The same holds true for, let's say, fast development, where you can earn money maybe already next year. And this is a lot of IT solutions going their way. I mean, one of the big hurdles we are having in the deep tech area is that you need to invest 5 to 7 years, and you have probably a smaller carrot compared to pharma. And you have, and this is my personal objective or idea behind this is you have less risk because the regulations are not that hard. You are not going into human. And if you have already done a proper, let's say, development at university, and you have the feeling that this is technically realistic to implement, I think then, of course, you need to optimize the processes to be, let's say, economically well set for going, let's say, at scale. But this is something which takes years and requires a lot of investment, but I think with less risk. And here we don't have really venture capital, let's say, investors really doing, let's say, what is really required. So the only one, let's say, in Germany, a lot of investment in really technical startups and investing substantial amounts of money is the high-tech Gründerfonds. And I really see this as a very important portfolio organization driving transformation also in Germany, and we need more of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, more of that. What would be your wish to push this topic a little bit further?
I mean, we have Frankfurt, right? Frankfurt is the German center for banks, but I think we need to get a little bit more together here with the right investors and convince them that in our ecosystem, when we are doing a good cherry picking, I mean this in a positive way, we can help with the technical expertise, also the VC people, when they are not that skilled in a technical way, like for instance, the colleagues from the HTGF, as mentioned before, that we get them to a little bit more confident to invest in here. So maybe we need to work together with investors and support them more with technical expertise, that they are gaining also a little bit more trust in investments in deep tech. This is something that's my wish. And if you are out there having chances to contact us or bring us in touch with, let's say, open-minded VC people who would like to discuss with us challenges in deep tech, I'm more than happy to support you.
Great. I mean, yeah, historically we are living in a very chemistry-based region, right? With BASF, the founder was living here in Mannheim, right? With Merck, the pharmacy in Darmstadt. So basically, there are multi-billion-dollar companies right now based on this first innovative entrepreneurial actions of these founders, right? So yeah, hopefully you can here be the launch pad for really cool green tech startups out from Gernsheim, right? All right. Then we have here a small surprise for you. So we will show you an image film of RYON, and you have time. This is just 1 minute. So there is some pictures, no audio, but you can use the time. If you have any questions, you can think of your questions and type in the comment section of this video. So after this image video of RYON, you have the chance to ask your questions if you have any, and then we will dive into the Q&A session. All right, here we go with the image video. Oh, amazing.
Hopefully you could feel the spirit behind it, even without, let's say, the vocal.
The screen, like get in touch with the matrix, right?
Yeah.
Great, very, very cool. Nice image that you created. So I guess, yeah, the vibes and the spirit for cool innovation, I guess this is part of the video.
Good.
Great. All right. We are waiting just a couple of seconds for a question. If not, I have one, and it's linked to this to the ecosystem and the impact of your RYON acceleration. What is like your goal in the next couple of 3 to 5 years? What do you want to achieve?
I mean, we are not profit oriented. This is the first thing to mention. It's really for us important if we really could bring benefit to the startups coming to Gernsheim. I think this is really what we need to do. Yeah, this is really what we would like to achieve. And the more of startups we can be of help, I think the better. But it's not a number game. It's really, let's say, that we are bringing, let's say, the horsepower to the road together with the startups, that they can, let's say, fulfill their jobs. And besides that, of course, it's about networking, and this is something RYON as ourselves alone can do nothing. You know, we need the ecosystem, we need to connect, we need to have a good startup ecosystem, we need to have a good corporate ecosystem on the other side, we need to have politics helping us here, we need to have local, let's say, support from experts from different companies, and also here I would like to thank already the companies we are talking about or talking with. It's let's say ranging from BASF to Heraeus to Evonik, but also to smaller companies. As they all are willing to support us with expertise and with knowledge and with let's say supporting us as jury. We had a summer school, they were participating because they feel also the same necessity why this is important. So we are not alone, and this makes me really confident that this in our region can be a success, having so much strong partners around us. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to make with them together the big change here.
Oh, perfect. This is very, very cool. Nice ending also for our interview. So if you have any questions that are open, or if you see this in terms of later as a recording, then you can take the offering from Jörg, contact him. And I guess we have a small surprise also for you listeners. If you watch this video till now, till the end, we have a special offer. You can contact Jörg for technical advisory. If you have any questions with your startup, with your idea, you can get in touch with him via LinkedIn or email, and then we can, or you get help from Jörg, a very, very experienced technical thought leader here at RYON. So Jörg, thank you very much for your insights, for sharing your story about RYON. This is a very impressive thing, and I guess this the seeds are in the soil, right? So we are waiting for the big trees that they will grow up here in Gernsheim. So very, very cool. I'm really eager and looking forward how this will be developed, and maybe we can in a couple of months make a small room tour or introduce some startups that are already working here, just to see what cool results are growing in this transition center that you've built here in Gernsheim.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Bartosz. It was really a pleasure. And of course, I'm more than happy to host you again, let's say, when we have more to show.
Exactly.
An excellent format. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. And we are really looking forward for the next one.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye.